when you're working with fractions, it's important that you know the GCF, which is the greatest common factor, and the LCM, which is the least common multiple. First, we're going to look at the least common multiple. Now, what this is we're going to take two numbers. So to begin with, I'm going to take the 4 and the number 5. Now, in order to find the least common multiple, I'm going to find multiples. So the multiples of 4 are just, think skip counting or enlarging. So we have 4, 8, 12. Notice that they're going up by 4 each time. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for 5. We're going up by 5 each time. Now, the next step is going to be to find the common multiples. Because we have multiples of 4, we have multiples of 5, we want to find multiples they have in common. So it looks like the first one we see is 20, which also happens to be the least common multiple. So the least common multiple for the numbers 4 and 5 is 20. You're going to use this when you go to add and subtract fractions, when you need to find common denominators. Let me do another one. Let's use the numbers 2 and 3. First, we find the multiples of each. Now, we don't have to find all of the multiples. I tend to just go to about 20 or so. These are both small numbers, so I don't have to go very high. Okay, so now that I've found multiples, I need to find common multiples. So I'm going to look through and circle all of the multiples that they have in common. Now, because of what I know of 2's, any of these numbers of 3 that are an even number is also going to be a multiple of 2. Okay, so I've found common multiples. I need the least common multiple. I do this in order from least to greatest, so it's the first one I've come to. So the least common multiple for 2 and 3 is the number 6. We're going to use the greatest common factor when we reduce fractions. Now, the greatest common factor is also known as the GCF. And by doing this, I'm going to take two numbers and find the factors. So let me use the numbers 18 and 20. I'm going to make a T-table for each. That way it will help me keep my numbers nice and organized. And I'm going to be finding their factors. So I asked myself, how do I make 18? What two numbers give me a product of 18? I like to do this in order. Now, when you're first beginning, any factors you can think of will be great. And eventually, as you get more practice with this, you'll be able to do them in numeric order. So we always start with 1. 1 times 18 will give us a total of 18. It's an even number, so I know it's also a multiple of 2. 2 times 9 will give us 18. And I continue on. 3 times 6 will give us 18. So these are all of the factors of 18. I'm going to do the same for 20. Beginning with 1, 1 times 20, it's a multiple of 2, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5. Now here's a nice trick to make sure I know all of them. You can see I have the smallest factor and the largest, and they go up. Okay, so it continues on. So I have a 4 and a 5. There's no number in between there, no whole number in between there, so I know that I have all of my common factors. Now with 18, I have a 3 and a 6 here. If I want to check to see if 4 and 5 are factors of 18, I go, okay, 18 divided by 4. It's not a whole number, so it's not a multiple of 4. So that's one way that you can kind of check to make sure that you're finding all of the factors. So back to our GCF. We've listed the factors of 18, we've listed the factors of 20. Now we need to find the common factors. So 1 is a common factor, and 2, 3, 6, 4, 5, okay. It looks like there are only 2 common factors, the 1 and the 2. Now we want to find the greatest common factor, which happens to be the greatest number, which is 2. Okay, we're going to do this for one more set of numbers. We're going to do this for the number 15 and the number, let's say 20. Well, I'm not going to do 20 actually because I've already did it. We'll say 25. So we're going to go through and list our factors again. 1 and 15, it's not a multiple of 2, but it is of 5, 3 and 5. And for 25, we have 1 and 25, and we have 5 and 5. We're going to find our common factors and see that our greatest common factor is the number 5.